Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Manor Lords, and welcome back to our wonderful, amazing, somewhat efficient little medieval town, whose name I have once again forgotten, but I do remember it begins with the letter H, and there's a W towards the end. Hater Wand. I will get this one day. I will. This isn't a bit, by the way. I genuinely, for some reason, Hater Wand just doesn't like embed itself in my brain. And I think it's because usually I name towns in games after the channel. So it's like Nerd something or something Nerd. That's how we ended up with like Nerdrosoft as a company in Software Inc. And we had like 20 different nerd-related cities in City Skylines 1. So yeah, Hater Wand is, you know what? We're gonna rename it, actually, is what we're gonna do. It's gonna be Nerder Wand is what it's gonna be now. There we go. That's probably not gonna sink in either, but you know what? Wishful thinking. Anyway, you might have noticed already that there are some new buildings in Nödervond, and I'm going to say that over and over again until it sinks in. The reason we have some new buildings is because time has passed. I let the game run for maybe 20, 25, maybe 30 minutes just while I was watching things. I built a couple of things. Also, we could get more people in here so that more of our industries and processing buildings actually have everybody in them that they need. And so thanks to that, the deep mine is actually up and running pretty well right now. It is going to need maintenance very, very soon. But because it's up and running, because the bloomery has everybody it needs, because the smithy has everybody it needs, we actually have 10 tools in storage already. We are starting to work on getting some iron slabs into storage as well. And once we get 5 of those in storage, we should have the blacksmith start working on some spears, which means that my little militia down here, my spear militia, is actually going to be able to do something, basically. Now, to be fair, what I could do and what I might do is create another archer militia, because we do have 40 war bows in storage, and that might not be a terrible idea. But I don't know that we need to do that right now. If anything, what I'd like to do right now is go ahead and get something like the Livestock trading post, and possibly just the general trading post as well. Because also, between this episode and the last, I went around and I upgraded our fields so that they have fences now. And with them having fences, we can use these as pastures for different animals. So we could get some sheep, we could put them in these fields. They're going to crap all over the fields, and that's going to help sort of bring back some of the fertility into the field, which is really good news for us. So I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to go ahead and get ourselves a livestock trading post, and I like the idea that it's going to be nearby the manor. I think we'll do the same thing with the general trading post, which I think is going to look better in here initially. So let's turn off snap to roads. Let's rotate this guy around. And it is going to live right in that corner, as close to things as I can get, which is going to be right about there. And then the livestock trading post, I guess, can go on the other side, is what it can do. It's going to go next to this this market that we have right here, which is completely fine. So it's going to live, I want to say, right about there for the livestock trading post. We could also look at getting a pack station. This is going to be used for barter connections, which means we can send and receive goods between this and another region that I own. Obviously, we don't have another region right now, but this will be useful later down the line when we do have some other regions. So we'll go ahead and build this guy. I want to say it's going to live right about there as well. And we're just going to gradually populate the area around the manor, because at some point we do want to put some walls in here. We do want to put some towers in here. We want to put some stuff in here. And you know, I think we could also, while we're here, maybe get a tannery. We probably do want to get one of these guys so that we can start making whatever it is that we're going to be making with the leather. So let's see if I can get a tannery on this side of our trading post. It looks like there's going to be enough room, because I do want to put a little road on the left side of this as well. So I think right about say here for the tannery is going to be pretty good. I think it can live right about there, and I'm excited to see that thing get up and running. Now, I will say we do only have one unassigned family right now, which is fine. It's not the end of the world, but we are going to need more burgage plots to get enough people to work in all of these buildings, which again is totally fine. But I want to make sure that we have enough food. I want to make sure that we have enough fuel. And to be fair, we do have 13 months of food. We do have 19 months of fuel, and we do have a good number of people working in the woodcutters' lodges and also in the foresters to make sure that we will always have enough fuel at the very least. But what I'm wondering is whether or not we should go and try and set up another couple of rye fields. Now, we do have this space over here, which is pretty decent. I'd be very tempted to maybe move the fisherman's hut over to here and then get access to this fertile land. We could look at wheat, but unfortunately we don't really have much going for that, which is, well, again, a little bit unfortunate. Flax is whatever, barley is whatever. You know what? Let's read about the trading post. That seems like a good idea. So the trading post allows for the import and export of most goods in exchange for regional wealth. You could use the trade rule drop-down menu to set a good to export or import. Assigned families will stock the trading post and walk to the nearest trade point to exchange goods based on its desired surplus. Traveling merchants will periodically arrive to exchange goods. By establishing a trade route, they will arrive more frequently and allow you to exchange major trades. By toggling allow foreign trade to off, workers will instead exchange goods between your occupied regions. Now, interestingly, this guy is apparently disconnected from the major trade routes, which is interesting because I don't think it is. We are connected to the main road down here, and we do have access to a trade point over here, so I'm not really too sure what's going on with that, but I'll not worry too much about it. At the very least, this is up and running. It can have a ton of people working in here. We can get some livestock in here as well, which we probably will want to do at some point. But I think for now, I do want to come back to farming. I do kind of, well, you know, I'm going to be honest, I regret not turning this into a field. This would have been a great little field. This area in general, I do wonder if we could clear it out. You know, move the forester, move the stables, move the saw pits, move the logging camp. It might not be a bad idea. And then just free up this space, use it as another farm. I think that's kind of what we're going to do. So this woodcutter's lodge, I'm going to turn on snap to road again. And I'm going to move this woodcutter's lodge to, I think, here for the time being. And we are going to need to move that nice and quickly because I want to bring a road out here is what I want to do. Oh my God, there's a drought. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I'm having the worst luck. I am having the worst luck in Manor Lords lately. This is gonna be a little bit rough, but we should be able to manage. Let's go ahead and bring a little road out here. Let's then move our fisherman's hut, which apparently I can't move, which is slightly frustrating, but that's okay. We'll just build a new one over here is what we're going to do. So I think a little fisherman's hut right about here should be totally fine. We can kind of turn it around, but I like the idea of it maybe living, I guess, about there. Should be totally fine. We'll get some roads connected to it, of course, so that we have decent access to it. We'll bring this sort of down around and try to get it to connect in a way that looks all right, which I think that does. We'll bring this road sort of over this way as well, just in case that's something we want to continue out to the regional road. And I guess we bulldoze this guy since we don't really need it anymore. And then what we can do, again, is move things like the stables, move things like the logging camp. So this is going to move over to this corner is where I want that to go. I think that's going to be the best place for it. We can do the usual little trick of putting some roads around this as well. So it's nicely enclosed right about there. And then we can move things like the forester's hut into This corner right about here, we can move the saw pit over to, I guess, this space right next to the forester's hut is a pretty good location for it. And then we can move things like the stables over to this space as well. So I think what we'll do is a stable right about there. We'll move this stable so it's over and next to it right about there. We can get a third stable in there if we want to. And then the well, unfortunately, is just going to have to go. And for the most part, there we go. Everything has been rebuilt. It's looking pretty good. I think we can go ahead and make sure that everyone is assigned to work in the various buildings that they're supposed to be working in. So the saw pit, I think we'll get 2 people in there. The fisherman's hut is still being built, and I do want to make sure that this thing has a bunch of people working in it as well. So we'll go ahead and get 3 people working in the fisherman's hut. We can say 1 in here for now. Maybe we get 2 in there. The woodcutter's lodge, I think it was 2 as well. Maybe 2 in here. I don't remember. I think we've got a pretty good balance there, though. We have 1 family still unassigned, so they can do whatever it is they want to do. We do have a bunch of supplies over here that are going to need to be moved as well. But we can start going through. We can start taking out these roads. And we can just sort of tidy up this space, which is going to be good because this will work quite nicely as another little farming area. Just a little bit unfortunate that there is an absolute ton of logs sitting around, but those will get moved relatively quickly and we won't have to worry too much about it. I think this will be a pretty good looking farm as well. And I suppose now would be as good a time as any to start putting some roads in here so that we can kind of outline where the farms are going to be going. Unfortunately, and a little bit frustratingly, this is also the area that we have been replanting trees for the longest time. So we're kind of getting rid of a bunch of the trees that we put down, which is a bit of a shame, but we can totally replant those. We can totally do something about that, and it'll be fine is what it'll be. We'll bring a little road out this way as well. Just going to, I want to say about there. And that'll give us two more fields, which I think is going to be good. We can maybe say that this forester is going to be working specifically. I don't know. I like the idea that they work around that little lake right there. I think that's good. Although that's a lot of space that they're not going to be doing anything. So let's maybe move it this way a little bit. And that should be pretty good. We can let them reforest that entire area. Once this is all cleared out, we can go in there and put more farms, which I think we can actually do in this lower space. If we look at rye fertility, it is pretty good in here. So a little something like this is going to be good for us. And then, like I said, once this stuff is out of here, we can hopefully put a little something in there as well. There's like 2 logs sitting right there that I need someone to come and move. It would be kind of good if they'd get to that a little bit quicker than they are right now, but apparently they're just going to make me wait, which is okay. Okay, fair enough. There we go. Now we have these extra fields in here. We'll start getting a bunch of trees around here. It's going to look pretty good. Although I am wondering if we might want to consider another farmhouse. At the very least, it is November. It is pretty much the start of winter, and we still have almost 2 years worth of food. So we're doing okay. We're definitely doing okay. Some of that's mushrooms. A lot of that's cabbage. A lot of that is bread. But that's all right. That's kind of what we're looking for. Now, we do have all of this stuff around here now up and running, which tells me that we're going to need more people. So the livestock trading post, we probably don't need it to be running all the time, is my thinking. So I don't know. I'm really wondering what way we want to do this. So I think sheep would be really good. I think getting some sheep in here would be a great idea, which means we will need probably an actual dedicated pasture somewhere. And this is kind of where I'm thinking we might genuinely want another farmhouse, but I'd probably build it in this corner so that we have really good coverage for all of our fields. In fact, I think we will do that. I think a little farmhouse over here could be kind of great. I think as long as it doesn't actually, oh, hold on. I think I can do this. Yeah, that's going to look so good right there. That is kind of the perfect spot for it. So yeah, we'll build a farmhouse right there. I'm not expecting it to be filled up anytime soon, but that'll be really good to have. And then if I want to, I might build a little pasture down here just so we have a dedicated pasture for the sheep. Although I would imagine there is almost always going to be one field that sits fallow, right? We're always going to have a fallow field. So I wonder if we could just bring in some sheep and have them go sit in this field. That might not be the worst idea in the world. I don't really know how this whole process works, but I like the idea of getting a sheep farm, which now that I think about it, is this... I have no idea. I have no idea how sheep farms and all that stuff works. So it's been so long since I messed around with this stuff. I've completely forgotten. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's just build the sheep farm out here. It's going to be really, really far away, potentially from the fields, but also potentially close, because if this one's fallow, the sheep will be right here. So that'll be fine. We'll get that thing going at some point here in the not too distant future. And I guess we have kind of reached the point where we really do need to just get more people. So what I think we'll do is get ourselves a new road, and it's going to go pretty much across this way. We'll bring it kind of right out this way and continue it just past where the manor is up this way. I'm saying this way too much, but the idea is we connect it here, and this entire space could have houses in it, which I think would look quite cool. I'm also thinking that we probably want to continue this little road through here just for the sake of access. So you can kind of walk from one side of town to the other. And then I guess we just go in, we get ourselves some burgage plots, and we say they're going to start in this corner, they're going to go to this corner, up to this corner, and over to here. And that gives us 7 decently sized burgage plots. I don't think they're going to have vegetable gardens in the back, but we could go a little bit smaller, and we could get 8 families with 4. Yeah, you know what? I think we'll stick with this. I think we'll stick with the 7. And we'll be okay. That's not necessarily going to be enough, though. So as much as this is a cool thing to have, I think we're instantly going to want to go in here and just do another, what is that, 6? I think that'll be pretty good. I think we're going to need it. We have that new farm. We still need to put people to work in the storehouse and in the large granary. So getting, what is that, 13 new families? I mean, that's a lot of people, but I think it's going to be worth it. It's also going to take forever to build all of this, but that's okay. As long as we can feed them, and as long as we can keep them warm, I think we'll be okay. There we go. We have all of these new burgage plots built, and it might look a little bit different to how it did when I first did this layout. That's because the game crashed when this was all being built, which is to be expected. The game is in early access, and we're playing a version of the game that's not even hit sort of the main branch of early access, so it's totally okay. We also happen to have 4 unassigned families right now, so what I'm going to do is use this as an opportunity to put 2 people to work in the granary, which will send 2 market stalls over to this marketplace, apparently, instead of this one. That's probably okay. And we'll put 1 person to work in the storehouse, again, sending people up this way. I think this place, I'm pretty sure this place only has room for 3 market stalls, so this is honestly kind of okay. I don't mind this too much. There are a bunch of houses over here that will probably benefit from having some little market stuff in there, which is totally fine. And I guess what we could do, just while we're in the neighborhood, is maybe build a little bit more storage out here. I don't think we need another granary right now. I don't think we need another storehouse right now, but I don't think it would hurt to have another granary or another storehouse at the moment. So I think that's kind of the way I'm going to look at this. And so we'll build a new granary, I want to say right about there, and we'll build a new storehouse, I want to say just right next door. So right about there. That way, eventually they'll, fill up with whatever they have. And this will sort of give us a little foundation for building houses out this way as well, which is absolutely something that I want to do in the not too distant future. So hopefully we can make that work. I'm also wondering, how are we looking? We are finally starting to get more spear militia as well. That is amazing news. If we get invaded, we might be able to fight back, which is very, very exciting. We are, unfortunately, looking at 7 months of food though. And I think the reason we're looking at that is because my farmers are now too spread out. Basically, they have to go too far to maintain these fields. So we do absolutely need to start getting some farmers into this farmhouse. So what I'm going to do is get a couple of livestock in here. We can put maybe 2 people working in there as well. And I think we're also going to build another hitching post. I'm just going to sort of throw it, I want to say here for now, and then we'll move it once I upgrade it is kind of the idea. So we'll make this a high priority, although there's no one to build it right now. I realize that's kind of the downside of what's going on. Maybe we take someone out of the logging camp for now. We don't really need too much in the way of timber at the moment. Probably the same with the saw pit, to be completely honest. It might not be the worst idea in the world to take some people out of that, but we'll leave it be. Let's just focus on getting this thing upgraded so we can line it up next to the rest of the stables. We can bring some new ox into the town, and we can generally just hope for the best. We can also get these things built while we have people running around doing construction. And there we go. We have this new stable. Let's get ourselves another ox so that we can start moving things around, or just keep moving things around the way we have been. We also have 2 unassigned families. I think we'll put them into this farmhouse just to make sure that everything is good. And we are going to need unassigned families for some of the work that we have going on here with the granary, for example. But that's okay. We have plenty of houses down this way that still don't have anybody living in them. We actually have 8 available living spaces. And I've been thinking about these guys, and I'm kind of wondering if we should maybe build some apiaries. We haven't really done anything with apiaries thus far, but it will give us some honey, and every 3rd yield gives us wax. So I don't see why not. It might be kind of interesting to have a bunch of apiaries down here. I'm not really too sure what the benefit of having honey is. I think it might just be another food item, but I'm kind of okay with this. I think a bunch of apiaries here will be kind of interesting. We can actually take a look and see if honey is not amongst the food items. That's interesting. It is amongst the crafting materials. It's an ingredient. So that's kind of cool. I don't mind that. I can work with honey being an ingredient. We can use it for something. Enemy unit's been spotted. We'll pause the game very quickly because I want to remember to build the little herb upgrade right there. Now, where is this enemy unit? They are... Oh, no. Oh, no. Now, hold on a second. They're going for this guy again. Ah, that's really unfortunate. That is really unfortunate for him. Well, he was building a manor. Oh no! Oh, you hate to see it. This poor guy. Wait, we're missing one, aren't we? Wait, hold on. No, hold on. How many groups are there? Still 4. Okay. So are they just going to burn down everything they didn't burn down the first time? Yeah, it kind of looks like it, doesn't it? That's, oh, that's really unfortunate. It's making my life easier. I mean, I get to, go and conquer these guys at some point. So that'll be great for me. Not so good for him, but definitely good for me. I have to admit, I think this looks really cool. I love that we have all these, what is it again? Apiaries back here. Not aviary is the thing I've been building in Jurassic World recently. Apiary is the bee thing that we have going on right here. While, did they seriously just steal some honey? Okay, well, we just got that. That's a little frustrating, but okay. Let's go ahead and upgrade this storehouse while we're in the neighborhood. Let's upgrade this granary while we're in the neighborhood as well. And wait, that wasn't honey that they stole. What did they steal? I have no idea what they just stole. That might have been honey, actually. I think it was. I think they just stole some honey. Okay, well, I don't really appreciate that, but sure. Livestock trading post is not what I'm looking for. I am looking for the tannery. I want to get someone in here. I want to start working on some leather because I want to come over to these burgage plots that we've been gradually turning into different shops. And I want to swap this one out for a cobbler's workshop. I want to see if we can maybe start making some shoes because my level 2 burgage plots do want clothing. They're obviously going to want animal produce and the royal tax is increased. They're going to want fruit as well. They still want beverages. They still want a better church. But if we can start getting them some shoes, that will make them a little bit happier. Now, when it comes to upgrading the church, we're going to need a lot of things that we don't currently have. I think one of those is like a chiseled stone. One of those is like a cement thing. The tiles on the right, the orange thing, that's the easiest of the lot. If we want to get those, we just tap into this clay deposit. We start turning the clay into tiles and we're pretty much good to go. I'm not really interested in doing that right now, but that is a thing we can do and it won't really take too long to get that industry up and running. So we can do that eventually. I think the church is probably going to be the biggest challenge that we have, but I'm excited about it. I'm definitely excited about it. And it looks like I was right. We can we can make shoes out of leather, which is great news. I'm not going to set an upper limit on that. I'm not going to say that we can only have so much leather or anything like that. We'll just start providing shoes to people and that'll be pretty good for us. Once we get a bunch more people in here as well, we can start putting more of them into the farmhouse, some of them into the sheep farm. And I mean, if we look down here, this counts as room for 60 animals on this fallow field. So in time, we can start bringing some animals through the livestock trading post, which itself is going to be a really good time as well. Now, I think for the rest of these burgage plots down here, we could do more with honey. Although again, I'm not really too sure what we're doing with it just yet. I'm sure the wax is going to be used for candles or something like that. I would imagine the wax is probably something that level 3 burgage plots want to get their hands on. But I think what we'll do is just go for more chickens down this way. I think a whole bunch of chickens could be a really good idea. If we can get a bunch of eggs in here, they can start sort of propping up our food storage in the same way that we've been doing with cabbages for the longest time. I would also like to get some burgage plots in here that have orchards. We do have this one, and we do occasionally get apples, but I'd love to get more. And that might be what we do at this end of town, is maybe build some bigger plots on this little road and just have a bunch of orchards down here. That actually sounds like a really fun time. That actually sounds like a really, really good idea. And I might go ahead and do that, although I'm going to wait because we still only have 6 months of food. Now, admittedly, the harvest season is right now, so we should be okay. I don't think we're going to run out of food. I just want to make sure that we're in a good place. I want to make sure that we're going to be okay. I want to make sure that we're not going to have people starving. Now, this field is being harvested already. These ones are being harvested. We're actually getting through them really, really quickly, which is good. My concern is that right there, though, the stock's being damaged by the weather. I want to make sure that everything we're harvesting actually does make its way into storage. I want to make sure that we're getting all of the goods, all of the grains. I want to make sure that they're all making their way to the windmill and that we're making a ton of bread out of everything we get out of these fields. And actually looking at it, it's still September. We're almost done with the fields. I think we've done a pretty good job with those. We do still have room for 4 more people to come in here, though. So what I think we'll do is max out this farmhouse, which means the next 2 families that move into Nedervond are going to be going straight to that farmhouse. But then the 2 after that will be unassigned, and they can go maybe to the sheep farm or maybe to literally anything else. As long as we can feed people, I think we'll be all right. As long as we can feed people, I don't really mind what happens. I also love just watching everybody run around. I really do. I love watching the harvest season. I love watching them work their way across the field. It's just it's a really fun thing to watch. It's really, really satisfying. So now that the harvest is done, I want to take a look at our numbers, and we can see right here, we have a decent amount of rye grain. We have some wheat grain in here as well. That's going to give us a really nice amount of flour. So I think we're going to be okay. What I'm wondering though, is whether or not we should get another windmill, because this one's a little bit out of the way. I mean, it's close to this farmhouse, but it's pretty far away from that farmhouse. So I'm kind of wondering if we should put a windmill maybe out here would be kind of a cool spot for it, although the efficiency kind of sucks. The efficiency is really not good out that way. We could do a windmill sort of over this way where the efficiency is 98%, which I think is what this one up this way has, about 98%. We could put another one in here, but again, that defeats the purpose of, you know, trying to get it a little bit closer to these guys. Really low percentages around here is a little bit unfortunate. If I got rid of this field, which is fallow right now, oh, I think we're gonna get rid of this field. Is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do something kind of silly, and we're gonna put a windmill right in the middle of this space. We've done this before, admittedly. I've absolutely done this before. I'm gonna put the windmill, I want to say here is where I'm going to put the windmill, roughly. Roughly there, I think, is going to be our location of choice. And then I want to go around the windmill with a little road that's going to just really, really nicely hug the outside of the windmill. And if this works, it should look kind of neat, is what I'm hoping for. So something kind of like this, and that does look pretty good. Can I put a field around that? I have my doubts. I do have my doubts, but it'd be very cool if I could. I sort of can, actually, which is amazing. It's a little silly looking, but it's very, very cool as well. Can I get this to behave? It really doesn't want to be one field, does it? That's a little frustrating. No, it really doesn't. It really does not want to be one field at all. Can I make this work in any way, shape, or form? I don't want to have to put another road through here. I will if I have to, but I'd really prefer not to. I can do this apparently, which is interesting. I can go around here, and I can go down to here, which again, it kind of messes up a little bit. Okay, we might have to separate this into two fields, which I guess is okay, or I just deal with the fact that it's not going to be perfectly against the like the path on the right. I might just have to deal with that. Or what I should say is the path on the left. Yeah, we're gonna do another path in here, which is not ideal, but it's okay. It's fine. I can live with it. We'll do this, and then I should be able now to do two separate fields and have this sort of work, right? Yeah. So that's gonna be one. And this, I suppose, is gonna be field number, does it seriously gonna do this to me, isn't it? There and there. That'll be fine. So that's our second field. That looks okay. I can work with that. That should be completely fine. We'll put fences around them, of course, and then we'll go and say maybe rye this year. We'll do fallow. Maybe we'll do fallow this year. It's looking a little bit rough. We'll do rye next year, wheat the year after. These guys, I think similar story. I think we do fallow and then wheat and then rye. And this should be all right. I like the idea of having this windmill right in the middle here. I think it's going to look really good. We just need to get some families to build it. And there we go. We have another windmill, and I think it looks fantastic with those fields around it. I'm so happy with how this has turned out. Now we just need people to work in there. So I suppose we have two unassigned families. We'll put one in there just to make sure that this thing at least gets up and running. We do still have some grain in storage, which is hopefully going to be worked through relatively quickly now. I'm not really too sure. I guess the the bottleneck right now, I think, is the windmills, given that we have so much grain in storage. So once we start to see a bunch of flour in storage, I think that's basically going to be our cue that the bakeries aren't really keeping up with what we're trying to do. But obviously the goal here is to get us back up to a point where we have a ton of food, because the goal beyond that is to build more burgage plots. I do really like the idea of building some large plots out here that have orchards at the back. I think getting some apples or getting some pears or getting whatever it is we get from those burgage plots, I think that's going to be a really good idea. And I'm definitely excited to do that. I also like the idea of getting these storehouse and this granary up and running. So we're going to need so many people to make all of this happen. We still haven't got anyone working in the sheep farm. We still haven't got anyone working at the livestock trading post or the trading post. And to be fair, those could be pretty good for making money, which is something I'd like to do. I'm also very happy that we have a full spear militia and we have a full archer militia now. We also have some spears in storage, which is amazing news. I'm kind of wondering though, what do we need for like militia footmen or polearm militia? I'm assuming sidearms, basically the hatchets right there would be what we're looking for. And then the polearms, maybe whatever this happens to be, is what we're looking for. So that's all right. We can definitely make this work. I'm very happy that we have those militia. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm content that we have 2 full squads now. That should keep us pretty good. So coming back to our food production, we are starting to see flour stockpile, and we're starting to see it build up a little bit. We are also getting reports that the bakery is a little bit overwhelmed. There's a little bit too much bread sitting in here that's not getting moved into a granary. So I think we are reaching that point where we probably do have enough food to expand a little bit, which is good, because I'm thinking it's about time that we come out here and start doing some building. Now, I'm not too sure how big I want to go with these plots, but I really want to get some orchards in here. I think it's going to look really cool. So let's extend this guy just a little bit further and let's see what exactly we can do here. Let's figure this out and hope for the best. So can I do this? I totally can. Do I want to go that entire distance? I don't know that I do. Now this is a pretty good chunk of space. Obviously some of these burgage plots don't have road access, but that's fine. If we shrink these down a little bit, that one still doesn't have road access. I want to say it technically has road access. It's, yeah, apparently that, oh no, do I want to do that? I don't think I want to do that. I think that's a little too silly. So you know what we'll do? Just to, it's a little bit too silly. Everything, there's so much in this game that I do that's silly. I don't know why suddenly I've chosen to care about what makes sense now, but apparently I have. We'll do this is what we'll do. And then we'll go in, we'll look at these burgage plots and see what we can achieve here. This should give us a good amount of road access. It absolutely does. It gives us a lot of burgage plots. It gives us 10 burgage plots. But if I shrink these down a bit, which is kind of what I want to do, we can still have, what is that? That's 7 plots. So that would be 14 families is what that would be. What I'm noticing though, is these ones over here, as nice as they are, it's basically useless. So I think we go here. I think we just extend back this way. And I think we just do something like this. So we have those really, really sort of long plots right there. And I think that's fine. So we'll do something like this. We'll make them a little bit smaller just because I like that. I do. I think that'll be fine. So we'll build that. That'll be 10 families across 5 plots. And then on the other side, I want to do exactly the same thing is what I want to do. So we'll go and do maybe to about, I think there, bring this across to about that spot and shrink these down until we get 5 plots with expansion space. That'll be 10 orchards. That'll be 10 families, potentially 20 families once we get the expansions built, but that'll be a bunch of orchards, and that's going to be great. What we can also do is extend this road straight out, and then this space here could be used for some regular burgage plots that don't have expansion space at the back, if that's a thing that we happen to need, or it can be used for industries. It can be used for whatever. This space back here is kind of a similar thing. We could use it for some smaller burgage plots, which I'm kind of thinking if I was to go to here, here, and here, yeah, unfortunately, those little burgage plots are, well, they're on the smaller side, but that's okay. We also don't have enough goods to build all of this, but this is going to be really exciting. I'm really, really looking forward to getting this all up and running. The other good news is building these will give us enough people to work in this storehouse and in this granary. It's obviously going to give us the food eventually from the orchards, which is really exciting. So I think immediately we're going in here. We're going to start putting some orchards into all of these yards. All right, so all of these burgage plots are built. All of the upgrades are in, except for the expansions. And now we just need to choose what trees we're going to be building here. Now, it seems like apples are going to give us the highest yield. Pears take longer to reach maturity, though. So let's do a mix is what we'll do. So I'm going to do apples first. Then we'll do pears. I don't know if I've got enough money to do all of this. We'll do whatever these things are in the middle. We can do pears again, although we can't afford it, so we're going to need more money. And then we'll do apples again, basically. So we'll have sort of a nice little pattern. There'll be apples on the outside, then pears, then that other thing, and everything should be good. I'm hoping this is going to look really cool. It is admittedly going to take a little while for it all to come together, but I think it'll look pretty good. I'm excited to see it be a thing. I'm also thinking, let's put someone in here and let's put someone in here so that these two places get up and running, so that we have a little market next to all these houses. I think that's going to be for the best. It'll help with distribution and it'll just keep them a little bit happier. It also means I might be able to upgrade this place a little bit sooner than later, which, I mean, I would very much like to do. Okay, so all of these trees have been planted. It's going to take a little while for them to come together, but I'm very excited to see this space grow. I'm really excited to start getting a bunch of apples and pears and whatever that other thing was. I think it's going to be a really, really good time. We also have a ton of grain in storage right now, so that's going to go to the windmills and get turned into flour. We should have a ton of bread still in storage, which is amazing. We have 10 months of food right now. So I think we're in a pretty good place. I think we're doing pretty well. What I would like to do, and what's probably going to be our next focus, is start getting some brewing going on. We got to get people some drinks. That's going to make them really happy. We also probably want to do clothing, so we'll start messing around with the sheep farm as well. I think the last thing we do, or the last thing we need to do for the level 3 burgage plots, will be the church upgrade. That's going to be a little bit trickier, but we can totally do it. It's just going to be a little bit more involved than, you know, farming some sheep and making some booze. It's going to be a whole thing, but we'll get there. Anyway, I think that's going to do us for today. We've made some really good progress. I'm really happy with where we're getting to here. I do think we're going to want to get another region in the not too distant future. And obviously the goal of this whole scenario is to knock out the opposition. We should be able to do that. I think we're doing pretty well. Having an unlimited source of iron is probably going to make it quite easy to achieve that. But we can tackle that a little bit later on, a little bit further down the line. That's going to do us for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been an absolute pleasure, as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.